Well, all right. Welcome back to another episode of Glaring Light in a Sweaty Guy's Eyes. On today's episode, what we're going to show you about how to do, take two. What we're going to show you how to do is basically you got your cat scratchers looking like that, right? Like that sucks. Guys, look at it. Leaving this type of stuff on the ground over here. I don't know if you can see that there. But he's a rhino. Nice Scoopy there. Hi, Coop. So yeah, I'm going to show you how to do that, or maybe not, or I'll try and it'll fail, or I'm not sure. Basically, my plan here is strip off the old bastard, put on some of these, some of those. Just some spare carpets that I found around, right? First step was to vacuum everything pretty good. Second step is to try to get this off. So man, I'm looking like a tomato right now. All right, so it's going well so far, but it's still early. Lots of time left for this to take a hard right and end up in the landfill. But until then, pay close attention to the cats as to not immediately click off the video because you, quote, thought it was gonna be great video but suck. But in all honesty, that's my favorite comment of all time. So as you saw in the time lapse there, you're gonna be having to pull out a bunch of these little staple guys, eh? And they're not really that great. So make sure if you're doing it, you're not doing it in your house. But yeah, so as you can see, basically the whole thing just come off like that now, right? Now, the next step, because I didn't realize this at first, as you can see in here, but stop. It's actually stapled or nailed or whatever, Coopy, no. See there? To this. They couldn't have used a shittier piece of plywood. Oh, still got some staples in there I gotta get out of there, guys. Oh man, they stapled. Look at all these. I might just hammer those in. And of course, Coopy's going after this like it's the only toy in the world, right? But just get on with it. My plan here is to cut around at the very edge right here, all the way across underneath, and then hopefully I can just take this rig and bring it over to one of those rigs and then just trace it, right, with some scissors or something, and then we can just slap it back on. Pokes himself. You may want to consider doing this in your garage because there's going to be cats all over if you're trying to do it on your living room there, right? Right, Peep? So I'm going to try to do a little cutty poo here. This is going to turn out to be uglier than I anticipated. And not ugly as in difficult, ugly as in actually ugly. Can't even cut straight lines on a good day. Using a craft knife. So yeah, if you're planning on doing this, just keep in mind that it's going to be super dusty and there's going to be staples just in all directions on the floor and everything. And so you want to try to protect yourself and your cats as much as you can, right? What can you do? I guess you could just not do it in the house, right? Would be the first idea. This might have been dumb. I might just push that off there. I don't know. Pretty well stuck on there actually, guys. I didn't want this to be hard. I wanted it to be easy. What about scissors, guys? Going from the other side, guys. Gonna be a lot of dead air to fast forward through here. All right, guys, now we just have an unsightly mess. I don't really know what to do about that. Like, I'm just gonna have to get it so it's tight enough in there that it doesn't matter, I guess. Maybe I'll cut it up or something. But just do things correct, not incorrect. Take this off up here too. The way I was taking those out of there was I was just doing this, eh? Got a set of side cutters and I lightly gripped her and just pull her out like that. So I'm gonna clean up this unsightly mess and we'll see how that goes. All right, I'll get back at you. So I just spent an unfortunate amount of time trying to work around where the tube connect to the stem instead of just taking a much less amount of time separating the two. 3x the amount of time and effort to do it the lazy way is pretty much par for the course at this point, but he's just feeling around in the dark on every project, eh? Trying every wrong route possible before finally heading in the right direction like some sort of bipedal Roomba. All right, I'm back. As you might have seen from the time lapse, or maybe not, or maybe so, or whatever, tried out all the 1.5-inch staplers that they had right there. Look at how many there were, guys. Like, that's just way too many, or maybe it's just enough, I don't know. But I don't have those kind of staplers, so I'm just gonna do a couple screws and that'll probably be good, right? It's pretty flimsy now, but the reason why I did that is, the obvious reason is now I didn't have to do any of the other stuff that I just did, right? I don't have to do any measuring, which is kind of like bonus for everybody, right? Blind leading the blind, am I right? As you can see, stop, but as you can see, this is pretty flimsy, right? So I'm gonna probably wrap something around that in the meantime, just to hold her, and then go downstairs and get the stapler, and then we'll just get to wrapping. And this is gonna be a lot easier than cutting around. I should have just said that from the beginning. All right, so I run down to the garage and I got myself the spin doctor, the slap doctor ammo, and I got myself the bunch of screws for the spin doctor. Just gotta throw it all on the ground, eh? What a fucking loser. So as you can see, but stop. So here in Alberta, everything is a hammer. The Alberta all 16ths, right? I'm just hammering in any of these staples that are sticking out. Not that the cats are going to care about that, right? What I'm going to try to do then is go from front to back with the carpet. Start at the top, work my way down. Man, can you just film what you're doing? Jeez. And hit them with the stapler along the way. And then if that doesn't work, we'll try something different. But basically, that's how we're going to do her. So it was actually a lot harder than it looked to wrap the rig with carpet. So what I decided to do was basically just start attaching a straight line down the approximate middle of the stiffy with just like the one side of the carpet. Then I trimmed off some of the excess carpet before wrapping her tight and strapping her her down. Bud, relax. No need to be a hero. Even though he's out here dressed like a half-squeezed tube of toothpaste, can we just take a second and admire Buddy's self-haircut? Like, honestly, it's got the fade going and everything. If giving yourself a $15 Great Clips quality haircut from the comfort of your own home is wrong, maybe I don't want to be right. All right, so as I started doing when you were a bit over that way. Basically, I'm just following the line down now where the other carpet is, and I'm just cutting it, right? Making sure to cut a little bit wider than the carpet, as it were, because you can always take off more if it ain't quite right, but you can't put it back on, right? Because you dickered her. Not bad for a guy who's never done it before, and he's trying to teach people, right? So you can see I'm just following the line all the way down, and then I'll staple that back down there, bud. Screws are kind of unsightly, but those are on the back, guys. That's why we do it like that. Staples has caused me sadness because my staples aren't long enough, right? So they keep popping out. So now I've been hitting them with the old ham bone there, trying to smash them in and see if that works. If not, I'll go get some longer staples, right? All right, guys, there's the proof of concept. It's getting pretty late here though, so I'm gonna shut it down before my neighbors head over here and start hammering on me. Got that one done, right? Except for that, came up a bit short, but I'll add something, don't worry, guys. But yeah, I'm actually impressed with how good that looks, actually. I think I will go out and get longer staples though. Just hit them with a couple right? But yeah, that's it for tonight. All right, the audio thing here kind of just frigged up. I'm not really sure what happened. Said Rit Tim out on it. Anyway, where we left off yesterday was we're also gonna get into this one, guys. We're gonna do that one, and we're gonna do this one over here. Maybe the front one too, guys. This, yeah, still going. We'll get you on the time lapse and we'll get going. We're also going to be wanting to clean up all this fraying and whatnot. So I probably didn't need to leave in the part fixing up the frig up, but just look at how cute little Koopy is. Just waiting patiently while a man struggles to complete simple tasks that require only basic motor skills and a rudimentary understanding of dimensions. Shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone at this point though. Working smart takes planning. Smart work, planning takes motivation. Motivation takes like 6 months to edit a video, apparently. Shut up! Finished up the bottom, right? It's a face. Got some longer boys there. They were 10 millimeters and now they're 13 millimeters. Not a sponsor. Nobody would sponsor this. They seem to be working out better. I also have been hammering them in. All right, so let's, we'll get on to, just finish your sentences, right? So now we're gonna get onto this guy. So it's gonna be pretty much the same maneuver, except I'll know ahead of time these big flooring staples gotta come out of there first, right? And that'll make our lives easier, allegedly. Allegedly! But yeah, we'll get you on the T-laps for that and I'll say funny stuff again. Yep. Ain't enough funny stuff in the world to fill in the amount of dead air we got on this one, bud. Nothing you can do about that though, right? Just gotta play the hand you're dealt, right? Wouldn't want to evaluate past experiences and modify future behavior to yield better results, right? Wouldn't want to assess whether a particular approach is effective and make adjustments to the maneuver to resolve deficiencies in the game plan, right? No. Filming every last second of a project, then cutting 99% of it in the creative process that can only be described as the workflow equivalent of a feedlot is definitely working out so far. The only thing worse than that would be if he filmed himself only from unflattering angles so as to maximize muffin top and minimize self-esteem. But yeah, basically after that, I just became a menace to the remainder of the staples and shitty carpet and got it ready for the next phase of the operation. At the risk of sounding like a Burkin Rickard, I'm just gonna move right along, all right? You get the idea. All right, same guy, new day, same shirt. Basically, this is where we left off. Stripped her down to the bare bones and pulled out all the bad boys. Also got rid of some of these guys, nails that were just sticking out, kind of clipped them off with the old Sid cutters there. As you can see, dude, stop. It's the daytime out there because I've been doing this at from 9 to 11 at night and that's not really working out that well for my neighbors because I've been doing a lot of hammering and whatnot and they haven't said anything yet, but I mean, they're really nice people, right? They probably just grit their teeth and hope that I pass away from natural causes or something, right? Squirrel outside, guys. Basically just following these lines down that I marked off with a marker here. Because the carpet's got its own fibers all interlaced, right? But come to think of it, guys, they might not be that straight, right? Like you're right, bud. Got him. I am kind of curious at this point. So that's about 100 ski, about 109 skis. I mean, it's kind of there. Skis. As long as it's at the minimum, right, we'll be okay. Can you even see my face on there? I don't know. Skis. Oh! But yeah, so I just marked her and followed her down. I didn't write that, obviously. That was already there. And that should make it good when I'm doing the cutting. So you want to be having this kind of carpet, the fiberback carpet, like that you would use for this kind of carpet. If you use like the matte carpet, like I used on the cat shelves there, it tends to fray a lot worse. I mean, this one, as you could see, was pretty frayed, but there's a little Koopy there. He's watching. He's making sure things are going according to plan, right? All right, guys. I've drawn out a little plan here. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut... What the fuck? Basically, what I'm going to do is cut along here and then take out this whole section and leave that whole side because I'm going to try to slide it on one side and then we'll just have that we can staple down after. And then I'll repeat that for the lower rung here and we'll see if my measuring skills are up to par here because they have historically not been, right? So we'll see. Got a little bit extra spare carpet, so we should be good. There's Peep. This one actually worked, guys, for some reason. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start measuring from about halfway and go around to where the carpet starts from that side and just transfer the measurements over. So let's see how this goes. So we'll call that 4. So we'll call that 8.2 off of the other side here. And then so we'll go across the front and around to this side will be the spot that is doing that open bit. So from here is open. So we're gonna go, fucking wish I had a better measurement thing. We'll call that 4 as well. It's gonna be the same there, 4-ish, and roughly 8.5. So 4, 4, 8.5, 16.5. Does that make sense? Can't even read. How's he gonna do math? How big was this one though? Yeah, that makes sense. It's a bit longer. 16.5. This will be cut out, and then the rest of the should be 3.5, 4.5, so 8 centimeters. Ooh, something ain't right. We'll mark it to there, but I mean, we'll see what happens, guys. So there's my measurements. Like I said, it's gonna be offset because they're not exactly sitting in there right. And let's see if this works, guys. Maybe, I don't know. Put you back on the time lapse though, and we'll see how that goes. So here go Buddy with the old sheep shears, trying his best to color inside the lines and not have the project go belly up like many a macaroni art project from the past. Taking his sweet time to ensure the carpet is the least mangled she can be going into the final lap of the race here. Who am I kidding? We're only a little over halfway there, but you're committed now. And what kind of a well is that? It's got to be a might as well finish the video if I'm not mistaken. Once you got her straight as a banana, it's time to hit her with the old slap tacker and lock her in place. She's going to be put through the ringer by a couple of little scratch nados for the duration of her service life, so don't be shy or you're going to run the risk of her blowing a gasket early and sending the whole operation into a tailspin. Alright guys, well aside from a couple of little frig ups, right? Don't know how that came up that short, but we fixed her. Aside from that, it's looking pretty good, guys. That leg's done, this leg's done, this leg's done. Not sure I'm gonna do that leg. Don't know if it needs it. And then I probably will do this bottom guy maybe. Not too shabby, guys. Look at how all the maneuvers worked out. Nice lines, it's all straight, there's no gaps anywhere. I mean, who cares about that stain that was there before? What are you gonna do? So now you might be asking yourself, yeah, but what about recarpeting the base? How do you do that? My dog peed all over the base and now I just realized that doing nothing about it for the better part of a decade didn't fix the problem. Well, I got you covered. We'll have that crystallized piss baseboard bastard banished to the shadow realm in no time. So after a little creative deconstruction, i.e. whirling derby, smacking the rig loose and bringing it down to the garage, I traced the openings in the carpet onto the nasties and promptly discarded the old carpet while trying not to puke. I drilled holes in the 4 corners of each of the shapes for some reason, then cut out each of them in order to use it as a stencil for transferring shapes onto the new carpet. Seems like a lot of extra work in hindsight, but you know what they say, hindsight's 20/20, and 2020 wasn't really that good of a year at all, right? So frig off. I guess I could have just used the old carpet as a stencil and saved myself getting popcorn lung from inhaling ancient dog piddle part tackles, but who knows what software I was running back then, right? After that, I grabbed the cutout nasty pissboard stencil and traced the openings onto the new carpet before hitting her with the old box cutter and setting her aside for later assembly. Then I grabbed a couple of suitable pieces of scrap wood and got the cut and slash gluing them together to match the dimensions of the nasties. Didn't quite have enough of the one piece, so I had to Frankenstein a couple together to make it fit, but I definitely wasn't about to make a trip all the way back to the Home Depot for a couple inches, only to be told I have to buy a whole 4x8. Once the rig was dry, it was time to staple the carpet to the new base. So I did my best to eyeball it in the center and just gave her hell. There's probably a right way and a wrong way to bend carpet around a sharp corner, but I wasn't able to find any tutorials online, probably just because I didn't look right. I just cut off the excess carpet, slapped the newly minted base on the tree with some new spin clamps and called her good enough. Like an adult. But yeah, so I'm just gonna clean up the rest of these little guys too, and we'll call her good. I mean, it's only took 3 days, probably take a regular guy like maybe a couple hours, I don't know. But yeah, a couple of tips of the trade, tricks of the tributary or something. Make sure you do it in your garage or else you're gonna get a bunch of fiberglass on your fingers and hands, or not fiberglass, but carburetor glass. Yeah, hope you like that. Like, favorite, scuba dive, and I'll catch you on the next thing. Out! Oh yeah. Like, favorite, subscribe. God, it looks like a 4-year-old made this. Well, there they are again. Oh. You alright? You hurt yourself in there? I heard some stuff. Oh, he's spitting everywhere. God. Who put it? Who put it where? Where did he put? We're not sure if that's safe. Whatever floats your boat, bud.